Yo, yo, what's going on? ¿Qué pasa? Everybody ready to roll? Awesome. Let's go do what we do. Send me out your tickers. Let me know what you're watching. Hey, Mega, how you doing? Mr. Justin. Pot is hot. Is the weeds. That's really the only thing that's been moving the last couple days. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There's been some good action in the market so far. Let's take a look at the QQQs. Market was down a little bit yesterday. It flushed down at the open, but really it was just kind of a flat day. When you think about whether the market's up or down, you know, 16 cents is not really, 16 cents is not really anything. So it's just a flat day in the markets. You know, overall, we still have a good structure to the market, so nothing to really fear. Whether the market's up or down per day doesn't really matter. It's more of the structure of the market in terms of, you know, what phase the market's in. That usually is a lot more important than, you know, whether the market is up a couple pennies or not, right? How you doing, Mr. Mancini, Mr. Mike, Danny, Elisha Mohammed, Eric, what's going on? Who else we got in? Let's go do what we do. Danny Chow. So let's talk a little bit about these things. We ripped these things big yesterday in the chat room. This Quran has had a big breakout, 13 million shares. You're already starting to see it move pre-market. I wouldn't chase this thing up at the open. It does have room to run over 8. I wouldn't chase it at the open, though. I'd wait for a little bit of a pullback before you try to get into something like this. When you're running like day 2, day 3, like say something like a TLRY, this thing's gapping up. But when you're up like 4 days in a row and you gap up, it could be exhaustion. So typically what you need to see is like if it pops up at the open, let it spike back down. Day 3s, day 4s, the stocks get a lot more spiky. They spike and fade a lot more. So you got to wait for it to kind of pull back and round and then go. Don't chase this thing into a spike, but I'd keep all these little pot stocks definitely on the watch list. The issue is, I mean, they're gapping big. And so we got to let these things pull back. Same thing with this CGC. See how you got 1 day, 2 days. So this is day 3. So if you gap up on day 3, you can't chase it up. You got to let it kind of pull back and kind of relieve the tension out of the rubber band, right? Because it's getting stretched. You're getting overbought. And so the gap stretches it out more. So you need it to pull back at the open and then round, probably maybe even deeper than the 9 EMA pullback. You know, you never know depending on how big the gap is. So that's going to be something to kind of keep an eye on. TJ Maxx, this thing is hot, right? This thing's breaking out the all-time highs. Look at the trend on this little sucker, right? From $5 to $100. Nice range so far pre-market. Issue on this one's going to be 626 million share float. It may not have just true heat, because the float might be a little bit bigger, but retail stocks have been moving really nicely. You saw a good breakout in Lululemon yesterday that had a flat top breakout. It trended pretty much all day and gave a really nice range, $6 range. So, you know, you could see some action in TJ Maxx. The deep discount brokers, Ameritrade, E-Trade, and Schwab, and even Interactive Brokers, which never does any volume. These things are all gapping down on some earnings. Not earnings news, but some news that JP Morgan is going to be offering some deep discount free trades like Robinhood and stuff like that. So it may not be a death blow, but you may get a lot of fun stuff happening with these brokers today. So keep AMTD, ETFC, and Schwab on there. Now, normally, I really take a look at this. I'll be... One of the things yesterday, I ripped TTD, another one, boom, 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 boom. You can see right here, like, this thing is really coiled up. Add Roku to the list, too. There's a lot of plays out there right now, guys. With the market so hot, you're going to have a little bit of a bigger watch list. So what you want to do, so like I have like, damn 20 names on the watch list. What you need to start doing is tier the watch list. So I like to do a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Tier 1s are stocks that are ready to go right now. They're ready, they're set up. I just need intraday setup. Tier 2 is stocks that are hot but need a little bit of work, like a Twilio. It's hot, but it needs a little bit of work. And then tier 3 is stocks that I play every single day. So we have certain stocks that we always watch, IQ, Huya, blah, 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 right? There's 10 of them that we're always kind of trading around in the chat room. So those are your tier 3s. When you get a big list, you want to start ranking them. So you want to always, at the open, when you're looking at kind of how you're going to organize your day, right? Tier 1s go immediately on your 6-window watch list. Tier 2s, secondary watch list. And then tier 3s, you just always have them on anyways. Usually tier 3s, you don't even really need to look at the charts, right? You know how those things move. That's always going to be the nature of the game on these bad boys. All right, I got to get going. I got some things to do. It's been a hot, hot month in the chat room. If anybody has any questions, you let me know. If anybody has any tickers that they need to look at, let me know. Otherwise, we got to go do what we do. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, Nolster, how you doing? Let's take a look. IQ. Yeah, IQ's gapping up. The issue with this one's going to be day 3, and it's gapping up into resistance. I'm a little apprehensive on these things because the daily charts are so decimated. You know, I guess this Huya, if it does close, gets over the 9 EMA, you know, you could maybe run to 31. Right? So you got, man, when we try some of these plays and the gap, you know, not even the gap, but the daily chart is just so ganar, it ends up being really tricky because you don't have necessarily all the leeway to kind of come in and trade it freely because they're just not, yeah, it's just not, you know, yesterday, why did CGC move so free? Right? Why did it move so free? Why did this trend? Well, the reason it trended is, you know, it's a breakout the highs, and of course you got mega volume and sector momentum, right? But, you know, that helps. Lulu, right? Once it broke out, it trended all day. Well, yeah, its daily chart is in a resistance-free zone, right? So if you're trading in an area where there's no supply, then you're going to have a much nicer type of day. So just something to kind of keep an eye on and get this party going. All right, my friends, let's go do what we do, man. This is a hot market. It's the summertime. Usually the market sucks in the summer, but this August has been red hot. There's money to be made. Come September, there should be more volatility in the markets, but right now I take this next 10 days in August. Pad your stats. Pad your stats. When you have a market where you can pad your stats, try to, you know, rein in an extra few $1,000. It just helps because when the market gets more wild, there's going to be obviously more opportunity, but more risk and a little bit more stress. Summer trading is always easy trading because things move slow and there's only a handful of stocks that are going every day. So it's really easy to focus. Come September, we'll be firing off and, you know, we'll be back to the cocaine and strippers in no time. So my friends, let's go do what we do.